Have you ever noticed that as soon as it starts raining outside, your internet seems to slow down? You're sitting comfortably at home, the sky darkens, rain taps on your window, and suddenly your video call freezes or your downloads crawl. It's a common experience, but few people really know why it happens. In today's video, we're diving into the fascinating connection between rainy weather and internet speed. We'll explore the science behind why your connection drops when it rains, what's really happening with your cables and signals, and what you can do about it. Let's get started and uncover the mystery behind rain and your Wi-Fi. Why does your internet speed drop when it rains? It's a question millions have asked, but almost nobody can explain. Your router hasn't moved, nobody touched any cables, yet the rain arrives and your connection gets worse. Is it just a coincidence, or is there a real reason behind this phenomenon? Today, we'll break down the three main reasons rain affects your internet speed, starting with the cables under your street, then moving to wireless and satellite signals, and finally, what you can do to protect your connection. Let's dive into the first reason, the cables beneath your feet. Let's start with the most common culprit, old copper cables. Many cities and towns around the world still rely on copper telephone cables that were installed decades ago, long before the internet was even a thing. These cables were designed for phone calls, not for carrying high-speed internet data. Over time, they've been adapted for internet use, but they have a major weakness, moisture. When it rains, water can seep into the protective casing around underground cable joints and connections. This is where the trouble begins. Copper cables are highly sensitive to water. When rainwater seeps into the spaces between copper wires, it creates electrical interference. Water is a conductor, and when it gets inside the cable, it disrupts the electrical signals carrying your internet data. The result? Your internet doesn't disappear, but the signal quality drops. Your router slows down your connection to keep things stable, but you'll notice the lag. This is especially common in older neighborhoods, where the cable infrastructure has aged and protective casings have worn down. Engineers have a term for this problem, rain fade on copper. When rainwater gets into underground cable joints, it causes signal degradation. This is one of the most common complaints internet service providers receive during and after heavy rainfall. In fact, in many countries, ISP support calls increase by 30 to 50% during rainy periods, with slow internet being the top issue. If you live in an older area, you're more likely to experience this problem every time the weather turns wet. But what about wireless internet? Rain doesn't just affect cables underground, it also impacts the signals traveling through the air. Your mobile data, home Wi-Fi, and satellite internet all use radio waves to send and receive data. When it rains, water droplets in the air can absorb and scatter these signals, weakening them before they reach your device. The effect is different for each type of wireless connection, and some are more vulnerable than others. Your mobile data connection, whether it's 4G or 5G, travels as radio waves between your phone and the nearest cell tower. Heavy rain doesn't block these signals completely, but it does absorb and scatter them. The higher the frequency, the more rain affects it. That's why 5G, which uses higher frequencies than 4G, can be more noticeably impacted during storms. You might notice your signal bars drop or your connection slow down when the rain is pouring outside. If you use satellite internet, rain can have an even bigger impact. Your data has to travel from your dish, up through the atmosphere to a satellite in space, then back down to a ground station, and finally to your device. Every time the signal passes through heavy rain or thick clouds, it loses strength. This is such a well-known issue that the industry has a name for it, rain fade. Satellite internet providers even build in extra signal strength, called a rain fade margin, to help compensate for this loss during storms. You might wonder if rain affects your home Wi-Fi. The answer is, not directly. Your Wi-Fi router broadcasts signals inside your house, so rain outside doesn't interfere with those signals. However, if your internet connection coming into the house is already weakened by rain, whether it's from copper cables or a cell tower, your Wi-Fi will feel slower because the source connection is already degraded. So, while rain doesn't hit your Wi-Fi directly, it can still slow you down. The term rain fade is used by engineers to describe the loss of signal strength caused by rain. It's most commonly associated with satellite and wireless signals, but it can also apply to copper cables underground. Rain fade is a real, measurable phenomenon, and it's the reason why internet providers design their systems with extra signal strength to help weather the storm. Next, Let's look at what you can do to protect your connection when the weather turns bad. When heavy rain hits and your internet slows down, there are practical steps you can take to minimize the impact. The first and simplest solution is to switch to a wired Ethernet connection. Plugging your device directly into your router eliminates any wireless interference inside your home and ensures you're getting the best possible signal from your incoming connection. While this won't fix problems with underground cables, it does remove one layer of potential signal loss. During heavy rain, your available bandwidth may be reduced. Instead of trying to stream high-definition video or download large files, consider pausing those activities until the weather clears. Lighter activities like browsing the web or sending messages will work much more reliably on a temporarily reduced connection. This simple adjustment can save you a lot of frustration and buffering during storms. For a long-term solution, consider upgrading to a fiber optic internet connection if it's available in your area. Fiber optic cables carry data as pulses of light through glass fibers, not as electrical signals through copper. This means they're not affected by moisture or rain in the same way. Fiber connections are much more resilient to weather conditions and deliver consistent speeds, rain or shine. If your internet consistently slows down during rain, and it's a severe problem, it's worth contacting your internet service provider. Sometimes, the issue is a specific damaged cable joint near your property that their engineers can locate and repair. Reporting the problem can lead to a permanent fix, especially if you live in an area with older infrastructure. Let's quickly recap what we've learned. Rain can slow your internet for three main reasons: water seeping into old copper cables, rain absorbing and scattering wireless signals, and satellite connections losing strength as signals pass through storm clouds. Each of these factors can reduce your internet speed, but understanding the cause helps you find the right solution. Copper cables are vulnerable to moisture, while fiber optic cables are not. If you're still using copper-based internet, you're more likely to experience slowdowns during rain. Fiber optic connections, on the other hand, use light to transmit data and are immune to water interference. Upgrading to fiber is the best long-term fix for weather-related internet issues. Wireless connections like 4G, 5G, and satellite are all affected by rain, but in different ways. 5G uses higher frequencies, making it more susceptible to rain fade than 4G. Satellite internet is the most affected, as signals must travel through the atmosphere multiple times. Providers build in extra signal strength to help, but heavy storms can still cause slowdowns. Remember, your home Wi-Fi isn't directly affected by rain, but if the incoming connection is weak, your Wi-Fi will be slow too. The real limitation is the quality of the connection coming into your house, whether it's from copper cables, mobile towers, or satellite. Improving your source connection is key to better performance during storms. To sum up, when the rain starts, switch to a wired connection if possible, pause heavy downloads, and consider upgrading to fiber if it's available. These steps can help you maintain a stable connection even during bad weather. And if you're still struggling, don't hesitate to contact your ISP for help. They may be able to fix the problem at its source. The next time your internet slows down during a rainstorm, you'll know it's not just bad luck. The weather and your Wi-Fi are more connected than most people realize. Understanding the science behind it gives you the power to make smarter choices and keep your connection strong, no matter what the forecast says. Congratulations! You now know exactly why your internet slows down when it rains and what you can do about it. From copper cables to wireless signals and satellite connections, you understand the science behind the slowdown and the practical steps to fight back. Stay connected, rain or shine, and share your new knowledge with friends and family the next time the weather turns stormy.